Well, good afternoon, First Baptist Church. Welcome to the Monday blog. We've been in the book of Samuel, and it's the second week. So we're just starting off, and we're discovering this lady named Hannah. And we're going to see how God responds to a female, and we're going to see how Eli, this priest, doesn't quite understand what's going on. And so God is really going to start speaking to her. So let me share my screen. First thing I want you to see right here is this word she, right? We talked about Hannah. And you're going to see as we go on that she doesn't hide anything. She's deeply distressed. And what does she do when she's deeply distressed? The same thing that every one of us should do. We should pray. We should come to the Lord and we should be honest to him about what's going on in our life. We shouldn't try to hide things because he knows our heart in the first place. And what does she do? She vows a vow. Now, often that's what we do when we're broken, when we're hurt, when we turn to Jesus, right? We're saying a vow, right? I trust you. I surrender to you, Jesus. Now do what you wish with me. And what's cool is she used this saying, O Lord of hosts. In other translations, it would say, Lord Almighty. It's the first time that the Lord is called this in the scripture, and it comes from a woman. And so she says to him, if you indeed look on the affliction of your servant. Right? That's exactly what we were when we were lost and we didn't know who Jesus was. And we're going, God, remember me. This is a salvation-like message. Right? We're saying this soteriology or this doctrine of salvation. Don't forget your servant. Remember me. And what's cool is I will give to your servant a son. Right? So this son is Samuel. But if we look at it a little further, we see that God gave us this son in Jesus. And because of that, we can be free and we could have this salvation in our life. And what does she say to him, right? She says, no razor shall touch his head. And if you've been around the faith for any amount of time, you know that this is a Nazirite vow. And a Nazirite vow is intended to have a beginning and an end, but there's no beginning and end here. She says, as soon as this baby's done, there is no razor touching this baby's head, and it doesn't say that it will stop. And that's what happens when we come to Christ. And we don't do it just for a time being, it's for eternity. We're saying, I give my life to you. I dedicate, I set myself apart because of what Jesus Christ did on the cross. And you see this comparison between her and Eli. Eli is supposed to be this priest, and yet he doesn't even recognize her heart. He thinks she's drunk, which could also mean that other people would show up and there was abuse with alcohol in this particular time frame right there. I mean, even in other time frames. But what's really cool here is that he doesn't recognize that she's speaking with her heart. And so when we come to God with our heart, we don't have to say it out loud. He knows us. He's sovereign. He's all knowing. He's omniscient. He understands us, and he's going to what? Answer it. We see that he answers the prayer of a woman. If we move down here a little bit, it says this from Eli, go in peace, and the God of Israel grant your petition that you have made. He's not saying if it's God's will, grant it. He's basically declaring it. He's saying, this is God's will, your heart. God is telling him, hey, grant this petition. And what does she do? She says, let your servant find favor in your eyes. And then the woman went her way and she ate, right? And so she's feeling better. She understands it. She believes what the Lord is going to do. She no longer has a sad face. And it doesn't stop her. She doesn't say, oh, God, you gave me this. I don't need to pay attention to you anymore. No, she still rises in the morning and she worships before the Lord. And then they go back to Ramah. They go back to this home where Elkanah and Hannah lived, and he knows his wife. Now, he's known his wife over and over again over the years, and no baby has come from it. But this time, because the Lord our God is working in it, it happens. I think we need to remember that God is in even that part of our life. And the Lord remembers her. He brings about salvation. Now, if you're a woman at this time frame, if you don't have a son, how are you going to survive as you get old? Somebody has to take care of you. So having a son is almost like this life that is given to her. And it says this, and in due time, or the 9 months, the 40 weeks, Hannah conceives and bears a son, and she calls his name Samuel. And this word Samuel means God answers. God remembers. God answers her prayer, right? That she has asked for him from the Lord. Yeah. I mean, how cool is it to see that God is answering the prayer of a woman, Hannah, that He's giving her what she asks because she's coming to Him with the right heart and she cares about Him and loves Him and she's obedient to Him. But it's more than that. He gives it to her, and because of that, she's going to give back this son who's going to make an impact in Israel for the rest of eternity, honestly. So thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next week. Have a good day.